welcoming, welcoming the participants. Hello,
Hello,
good
nice to
afternoon.
meet you guys. Welcome to this IELTA webinar. I believe I can
Welcome,
start. Yeah,
teachers.
good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, good evening, or even good morning, wherever you are joining us from. Kindly let us know in the chat where you are joining from. Okay, Salman from India. Thank you for joining. Let us know where you are joining us from in the chat.
Okay, should we
From
wait for other participants or
I think yes, 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, we have from Tunisia, from Peru. Wow, Peru. What time is it in Peru? It's very early. Okay, we have Kak Rahmudini Ananda from Isnusa Tenggara. Awesome. 3 a.m. Amazing, Corey. Thank you for joining us early from Peru. Okay, we have Joy also from Vietnam, 3 p.m. Yeah, we have the same time, Indonesia and Vietnam. Yeah. Okay, good morning, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we're waiting for a minute or two. Okay, 9 a.m. Good morning there in Tunisia. Greetings from Lebanon. Thank you for joining us, Mona. Awesome. Keep it coming, please. Let us know where you are joining us from. Francisca from Kenya, 11, almost lunchtime. Thank you, Mona. Azerbaijan, okay. Tajikistan, I think it's your friend, Talat.
All Tajiks are
Awesome.
my friends. Nice.
Awesome. Azerbaijan. Okay, I think the others can catch up. We can start, dear moderator.
thank you so much. So I believe we can start our webinar right now. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night from wherever you are. Nice to meet you all. So my name is Dwiki Rahman Khan, and thank you for joining today's IELTA Indonesia webinar. Now, before we begin, I want to make sure we are all here with one purpose, which is to explore whether manners and material in today's classrooms truly align with what teachers face every day. Some say they do, others say they no longer match reality. So let us see which one makes more sense. So yeah, my name is Vika Ramankan and I'll be your moderator for this session. So to open our event, we will first hear our IELTA Indonesia ambassador. So his name is Mr. Fajaruddin Akbar. And then right now, he is with us and he is often emphasized that teachers must adapt rather than rely on all assumptions. So Mr. Fajaruddin Akbar, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Teacher Dwiki, as our amazing moderator today in this webinar. Welcome once again. Good afternoon from Indonesia. Good morning and good evening, wherever you are joining us from. Teachers, I believe, mostly educators or respectful participants interested in teaching, learning, and education. Again, I'm Fajar. You can call me Fajar, and I'm from Indonesia, and I'm the current ambassador of the IELTA Indonesia. Okay, we have also Bu Uri, our previous ambassador. Thank you for joining. Right. So first of all, I would like to thank you for joining us again, teachers, and also our IELTA Indonesia members and IELTA International members, and of course to our amazing fabulous speaker today, Mr. Talat Nasreddin. Here in this very short speech, I would like to introduce you to IELTA Indonesia and also to IELTA for those who are not, for those who are new to IELTA. But I believe we have a lot of IELTA members joining us in this session from around the world. Well, IELTA is part of the International English Language Teachers Association. We are a branch of the association here in Indonesia. We have been here since 2022. Well, we are a community of English teachers mainly. Yeah, we are an association, but we are just a group of teachers sharing, learning together, wants to explore more for the better of the English education in Indonesia. Okay, we welcome anybody in Indonesia. Okay, whether you are Indonesian or teachers from other countries living in Indonesia to join us. Okay, membership is free. Well, it's not that busy. Okay, we have sessions and collaborations regularly with our other IELTA branches globally. Okay, we are mostly active on Facebook because Facebook is the platform that is the easiest for us to connect globally. So unfortunately, we don't have Instagram, we don't have LinkedIn or X, so we are mainly operating on Facebook. Okay, so you can really find us on IELTA Indonesia. We also have IELTA Indonesia Facebook group. Okay, so now let's move on a little bit to IELTA International. So International English Language Teachers Association, founded in 2020, again, is an association or community of English language teachers who love to share, connect with teachers globally for the same vision, which is for the better of English education. Okay? And also to connect and bridge between cultures and also innovation and inspirations. The IELTA International has events almost every week, every month, joined and also held by IELTA branches around the world. And we are one of the branches of IELTA International. We have teachers forum, we have students forum, we have book club, webinars, journals, and some countries that have even held in-person meeting. So if you are not from Indonesia and if you are not in Indonesia, you can reach out to International English Language Teacher Association to join, and you can find the brands in your country. Again, membership is free with all the benefits. Okay, this is our main website. It's still in development, but we have already had some information on our portfolio. Okay, so once again, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you can learn a thing or two from our humble speaker today. Back to the moderator.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fajarudin. It was an invaluable insight. So yes, it's true that IELTA is a platform for teachers from all over the world, and it's totally free. We can engage together, we can grow together, we can learn more how we can conduct an effective and efficient classroom management and teaching. Okay, so let's move on into our guest speaker here. So we have Mr. Talat Nasruddin. So he has a strong academic foundation from New York University, Sussex University, and Harvard. Wow, it's just like a magnificent academic background. And then Mr. Talat is also a highly accomplished educator. Mr. Talat also holds the prestigious CELTA certification. Like it's like more than TESOL certification, I believe, because CELTA is really prestigious from my perspective. And then he is also renowned for his expertise in effective classroom management and meticulous lesson planning. And also, Mr. Talat will bring an invaluable educational leadership experience, having served in an administrative capacity as a school principal as well, and then giving him a unique high-level perspective on successful educational strategy. So, Mr. Talat, the stage is yours, and please welcome to Mr. Talat.
Thank you very much for such a grandiose introduction. Uh, First of all, I want to thank everyone who is attending. In this era, getting someone's attention is the most precious thing. So thank you, and especially those who are attending from 3 a.m. That's crazy. That's the motivation we need. Thank you very much. One more time. Without further ado, I would like to start, and I'm going to share my screen so you can follow me easier. Uh, can everyone see my screen? Yes. Okay. So just a small amount of information about myself. Uh, I, as they've previously mentioned, I have done. I have around 7 to 8 years of academic experience. My last position was as a school principal. And with all of these experiences, I've done many hours of observation from other English teachers. So, and there's a common problem that I have seen as an observer, and that is classroom management, especially when it comes to manners, uh, kids' manners, and so on. Either they don't listen, they're playing on the phones while the teacher explaining, they're being loud. The others
Hello,
are just quietly sitting around. They're very hyperactive. My classroom, usually I guess they behave so well in your classroom. They listen, being active, and that's something.
okay. All right. I think there is a technical problem. Talat, you were breaking. And
Sorry,
yeah.
man.
Uh-huh.
This
Mhm.
always happens. The internet's not working bad when I'm doing something.
It happens. It happens. Yeah.
Where did we stop? Anyone?
Well, it's still in the first slide.
The first slide. Oh my God.
Happens.
Sorry.
It happens.
Let me share. So yes. Did, did you guys hear me when I talked about the common problems?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. 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 So and through my hours of observation, the common problem that I've noticed is that kids are being loud, they're playing on their phones while the teacher is explaining. So basically, the classroom management and the manners and the etiquettes of the kids inside the classroom is a struggle for many teachers around the world. I've taught in several countries, it's the same problem. But the same teachers who have observed my class with the same students, I get a common question from them, which is how come students behave so well in your classroom? They're being active, they're listening, they ask questions. The shy one is even participating. How do you do that? What is your secret? And today I hope to share with you that knowledge. We can all learn from each other's experience. So, the first question I would like to ask you, if you could put in the chat, what is education? Uh, Definition according to you. What do you think is education? Not the definition according to Google or ChatGPT, please. See, someone said knowledge, operation of lifetime learning. Good. What else? Give me a couple more. What do you think is learning process, is guide to someone to spit path? Very education, the system our students get knowledge kind of learning. All right. So, chance to grow. No part of that. Very good. So if we take all of your answers and combine them together, we are left with two things. One is the academics part, which is the curriculum, the books that we teach from and so on. The second part is these things, manners, etiquette, and proper conduct. Because these three, they are part of education. Unfortunately, in today's age, these things are fading away from the definition of education. Education is becoming something just teaching the academic part and forgetting about the manners and so on. So if we define it as a whole, the definition of what are those three things, the manners, etiquette, and proper conduct, is the nurturing of spiritual, intellectual, moral, social, and physical aspects to cultivate a well-rounded, principled person. So before we start with our presentation and how to implement these things in our classroom, many things play a role, including external factors when it comes to the behavior of a child. It could be their environment, it could be their parents, how they're being raised at home. All of these play a role. So to keep it all realistic, we will focus, our focus will be things that are within our control. Things that are within our control and what we can do step by step in order to improve classroom management and behaviors and to put a focus on those manners, etiquette, and proper conduct. So where do we start? I hope to give you a practical step-by-step advice. I'm not a big fan of theory knowledge because I believe theory knowledge is everywhere, but it is the practical steps which are difficult. So these are practical step-by-step instructions that I have used in my own classrooms and that I would like to share with you. Right. Check the chat, someone. All right. So step number one, what does your ideal classroom look like? You take a piece of paper and you're going to write what is it that your ideal classroom looks like. Do you want your students to be on time? Do you want your students to be quiet when the teacher is explaining? Do you want them to be curious? Are they asking questions? Are they showing interest? Do you want them not to eat inside the classroom or not to use their phone and etc. For every teacher, this can look different. For every teacher, this can look different according to your personality and your character. Therefore, just make a list of those. And then we move on to step number two, which is from the list that you have created, how much do you actually follow yourself? I have seen numerous times when teachers, for example, told their students, hey, do not eat inside the classroom or do not drink. Yet from time to time, they sip their coffee inside the classroom. So as you can see, there's no matching between your actions and between what you're saying. This is when, from the list, you will look at yourself. So you're gonna go to that self-exploration mode and you will ask yourself, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are the things that I want from my students, yet I'm not doing them myself? So this is where it all starts. Because we are so focused on our students that we forget about ourselves. And this is important. If we want any real change, it doesn't matter whether it's in your classroom, your society, your neighborhood, the real change must start from you alone. And that will later on reflect to those people around you. And this is why if you want a better classroom, you need to become a better teacher and a better person. Yes. And just before we move on, I would like to give you a small anecdote or a story. So in the 8th century, there was a wise teacher, and a mother came to him and asked him, "Oh, wise teacher, could you please tell my son not to consume sugar or sweet things, unhealthy food?" So the wise teacher told the mother, please come back to me after 2 weeks. So after 2 weeks, the mother returns and asks the same question. The wise teacher says, please return after 20 days. And so the mother returns after 20 days. And finally, the wise teacher tells the son, looking at him, saying, hey, do not consume sugar or unhealthy food. So the mother is very surprised. She says, how come you didn't say this on the first day? The wise teacher says, because I myself was struggling eating sweet food or unhealthy food. It took me 40 days in order to cut this habit. And therefore now I have the right to tell the kid. So what is the lesson that we can learn from this? Uh, sorry, let me check the chat just to make sure I'm not missing out anything. Okay. So yes, what is the moral of the story? What is the lesson of the story? Is that we ourselves should be the role model before telling anyone else what to do. Because if you think about it, if there's something we are struggling with, yet we are telling other people to do it, it's not honest from our part. Yes, so be a model through your own actions, because we only listen to those who proved it by their actions. This is true anywhere, anytime. Even when we take, for example, financial advice, we do not listen to those who never made it themselves. We take advice from doctors because they've accomplished it. You are listening to me because I have gone through similar experiences as you did. Therefore, kids, they're the same. Human brain doesn't change. It just goes. So we should be the good example. Very good. Very good. Fajruddin, you said we have a saying in the follow your preach. Exactly. So this is the most important thing. We have to be people of action rather than people of lip service. So moving on to the next thing. Anyone know where this image comes from? Let's see if you guys are aware. Anyone know where this image is from? The fourth ninja war. Exactly. It's from Naruto. I don't know if you guys heard of Naruto. It's I used to watch it when I was younger. So, but yes, moving on. The classroom is your army. I wrote Amy. Sorry for that. The classroom is your army. So take control of that. I know it's an extreme example, but it's true. That classroom as a teacher is in fully under your control. So you don't really have an excuse of why the kids are misbehaving. Of course, we are not looking at the external factors, like I said before. And so let's move on to step number 4, create and set clear rules. This is very important, and most teachers know this is important, yet again, in practice and in action, I don't see them coming back to their rules again and again. So how can we do this? Before the class, you write down the rules on the whiteboard. It's better to just write 3 or 4. Don't make it like 10 rules. There's no way a kid is going to remember that. Before the class, write and explain the rules, and then ask the students why they think rules are important. This is the important part. We tell the students to follow rules, yet we do not ask them why they think it's important. And the students don't know why it's important. This is the part where most teachers are missing out on. And then number 3, make it clear what is the reward and the punishment system. Again, reiterate back to the why. For example, I have rules in my class because I want my students to be the top students. I want them to have the best English in their classroom or in their town or society. So you give them some kind of motivation, and the students are like, oh, our teacher wants us to be the best. Let's listen. So it puts them in that psychological mode, I guess. And that's why you always have to tell them about the why. Why I'm saying this because when I was younger myself and I was studying at school, there are many things that the teacher told me personally, and I didn't understand why exactly they're telling us this. It only took us a few years to really come to an understanding, which is why now with my students, I try to give them the why behind everything important that I give them. And then number 5, it is very, very important that you must follow up the punishments. Of course, the punishments should not be humiliating, just like shouting at one student in front of other students and putting them down in front of other students. This will go against yourself. Give students chances to work on their mistakes, turn the minus into a plus. I will explain to you in a moment what's this on the whiteboard. Then follow up something negative with a positive. So let's look at this whiteboard. This is something that I do. It works with kids. It works with teenagers as well. Let's say you have Kevin, Aisha, Julia, and Ricky in your classroom. You write their names on the board so they can see it. They can see their names. And then you explain to them, okay, guys, for each time you answer a question or you behave well and so on, I'm going to put a plus next to your name. And when you put a plus next to their name, they see it the whole time, and other students also see it the whole time. So this already works as a motivation, like a visual motivation for them. So when you guys get 3 pluses, I'm gonna give you 1 star in the system. And this depends in your environment, in your school, what type of rewarding system you guys have. And then usually I tell my students, but if you have 3 minus, you will not continue to study in this classroom. And now they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? But here's the next part. I asked them, what do you think will make you get minus? So I asked them a question. I wanted the students to think about it. I want them to feel like they own uh, their minuses if they get minus later on. So they say, when we don't listen to the teacher, when we are loud, blah blah blah. Exactly, very good. And then follow up. As you can see here, follow up something negative with a positive. So what do I do? Let's say here, Julie has 2 minuses, right? So she's 1 minus away from being given the punishment. So what do we do is I focus my attention to Julie, something positive. Hey, Julie, what is the answer to the question? Knowing that she knows how to answer that, and then she gives the answer. I'm like, okay, Julie, your minus becomes a plus. So now the motivation is back. Now they want to turn all the minuses into plus, and now they feel like, okay, they're back in the game and so on. So you have to work, and each teacher knows their kids, how they behave and so on. So you have to work around that. But following up punishment is very important. Most of the time, I noticed the teachers, they say, hey, if you continue doing that, I'm going to tell your parents. And they forget about talking to the parents. They don't do it. So over the time, the kids, they just know, they're just talking. They're not going to do anything. So, and of course, don't forget the why. Form of punishment in place, explain to the classroom why. So let's say someone got 3 minuses and you actually put them aside from the classroom, or you put them with an assistant saying like, you cannot continue in this classroom, whatever your punishment system is, as long as it's not humiliating. Then you explain to the classroom why that happened. Okay, this happened because they were disturbing, because they were throwing the books around and so on. So, and then you again ask them the question like, guys, why is it important that we follow rules? Why is it important that we don't get minuses and so on? So engage them in conversation. This is the only way students will come to an understanding of why you are doing what you're doing. If they don't know, the only thing they will do is go back home and start complaining. Oh, my teacher is like this, my teacher is like that. So yes, all good so far, guys. You can hear me? No problem. All right. Yes, exactly. We always emphasize the purpose. Number 6, teacher's zone must be respected. I cannot count how many times I saw kids just going to the teacher's desk, touching the teacher's laptop, touching the teacher's tumbler or Rubik's cube or whatever the teacher has. Uh, for me personally, teacher zone is an important zone that students must not go and touch uh, without permission. And why do I do that? It's because I want my kids to feel like there are boundaries between me as a teacher and as a student. So being friendly, being close to them is of course important, and we will talk about that later. But however, there always needs to be a sense of boundary because it is only through respect that the kids will listen to you and will learn from you, and actually they will be uh, more disciplined to learn the things that you want them to. That's why I think teachers is a big thing, especially younger teachers. When I observe younger teachers or new teachers, they they struggle with this. The kids always go to their chairs, to their laptops, and start touching. That is because you didn't put clear rules. Number seven, uh, ask questions. Don't be afraid to wait in silence until the student says something. So in my classroom, for example, observed it or you notice, I would go to a student and I would ask them a question, and I would wait even if I needed to wait 10, 20 seconds of silence. No one is saying anything and I'm just waiting. And after 20 seconds, the person might say something. Now, if the student really doesn't know the answer at all, that's where your guidance comes. Change the question a bit, make it easier, but keep waiting until they say something. Why this is important is because most of the times, teachers and then there's a moment of awkwardness, silence. The student is not speaking, or other students will steal the answer, and so on. But what you're creating is the student now knows that okay, this teacher is going to ask me a question, and after 1 or 2, 3 seconds, I'm not gonna say anything. They will move on. So actually, now you created a culture where it's okay if you don't answer, we're gonna move on to the next answer. I don't allow that to happen. I want every single student to participate, even if they have to say one word, even if they say like, "Hey, what's your favorite animal?" and they're like, "Dog." Okay, good. I got an answer for, and we will later work on to how to give full answer and so on in any subject, by the way. Let's see. With Linda, I even stay silent when they make noise. They see that I do nothing, just observe us. Yeah, exactly. This is one of the popular methods of just staying silent and watching them. Uh, I have come across classrooms where the kids don't care at all if the teacher is silent or not. So culture plays a role, like what country you're teaching and so on. They really come with different backgrounds and different understand different psychology altogether. So maybe you tried one thing in Europe, the same thing will not work in Asia, the same thing will not work in South America, and so on. That's why, as teachers, we have to be psychologists. We have to read some children's psychology and how their brain works, and of course, using our experiences. Thank you for that. I do. Thank you. So, number 8, shouting at kids shows your weakness. Be calm and collected. This is important. In some countries and some cultures, shouting at kids is normal. Teachers, they shout at their kids. However, uh, it may work for a couple of minutes, but it will not change the behavior of a student. Because actually, when you shout and you're not able to control your anger, it shows that you're weak in that area. So one of the things I do with the kids is, of course, you have to change your energy, show them the serious face, and explain calmly with the serious face. Because kids, they know faces, they know patterns. If you look a bit angry or annoyed, they gonna feel that. But don't shout at them. This is the important part. And get close, sit to their eye level. So let's say if you looked at them seriously and they still don't follow your command, then come close to their chair, sit down eye to eye level, and talk with them and explain to them in that manner. Most of the time, in this part, they just listen to you because you're kind of intimidating them at the same time. If this doesn't work, then take them outside the classroom and talk with them, again, sitting down at their eye level and have a conversation with them. This way they feel like, okay, now it's getting serious. So Kauthar, that if I keep silent, they know I'm angry. Yes, they should know you're angry. They should know. It's just that how we are going to react of anger. If we shout, it's not gonna work out. If we talk calmly while they see anger in our face, this will most of the time work. Number 9, this is the rule I have in the classroom. You can't leave the classroom until they ask a question. So this is how I do it. If the classroom is not used to asking questions or you have some shy kids around, what I do is I tell them, ask me any questions. So you can ask me about me, about the lesson, about your favorite game, whatever it is you want to ask, you can ask me. I want them to get into the habit of asking questions first. So I don't just pressure them like give me a question for a lesson. One about the guys.
Okay. Yeah, you were disconnected for a minute.
So which slide was I on?
Well, the last part, the last part. Yeah.
This one? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. It's not far. Thank you. Uh, so yes, and then once they get into the habit, then we start asking. Then they start asking the question. This works with shy students as well, because when you put it in a way like, okay, you can't leave the classroom until everyone asks questions, and it can be any questions, then the shy person doesn't feel like, oh, all the pressure is on me. They feel like everyone has to do it. It's part of the classroom culture. So they do it. So let's see, Margot, show them my children is a good. All right, I'll go first with with the children. It's even more difficult. With your own family, usually the practical things become even more difficult. Of course, there's always a room for. Then number 10, don't always be serious. I have met teachers where they never smile at their students. Why? I ask them. They say because I don't want my students get too close to me, or this is not the right mentality to have. It's okay to just be yourself and have fun at their level. Sometimes, if I'm teaching kids, I sit down on the ground and play toys. If it's teenagers and they're watching some YouTube video or something, I tell them, oh yeah, I've watched it and I have conversations with them. So you have to be, at the end of the day, you're a human being. You have feelings, you have emotions, and kids are human beings too. They feel that from you. If you're gonna act like a robot or a serious teacher all the time, the balance will be lost. They will always come to your classroom with the intention that when does the next class start? They don't want that. Teachers don't like to have that feeling. So how do we break this barrier? Share things from our personal life. Every teacher has some talents or has some hobbies or something. Now, when I was a child, I don't remember at all that my teachers had some type of hobbies or something they like because they didn't really share with us anything except what is from the book. But we don't need to do that. So let's say you're a good piano player. Let the students know that you're a good piano player. Show them show them a video, show them in person or whatever. If you love reading books and you love fairy tale or whatever it is, tell your students about that. You're like, hey guys, yesterday I read this book. It's amazing, blah blah blah. If you're a gamer, go ahead, like talk to your students about the game that you played last night. Uh, for me, because I did wrestling when I was growing up. So sometimes I teach wrestling moves to my students inside the classroom. Of course, to the boys, because the girls are not that interested in the sport. So I teach them, and now they don't see me only as a teacher, but oh, this teacher is like a friend. There's a boundary between us and him, but we're not afraid of him. We can ask him questions. We can have fun with him. So you create this complete balance. And as a teacher, in the back of your mind, as we started with our topic, manners, etiquettes, and proper conduct, this should be first, because the better your students behave in your classroom, the better they will learn, the better human beings they will become. And this all starts from you changing yourself. If you have weaknesses, work on them first before telling the students to work, and you will see a big difference. So, lastly, what I will tell you is be a teacher, not entertainer. What do I mean by that? I'm sure we have all come across teachers who entertain students. The students love this person and everything, but the students are not learning anything. Sometimes in my observations, I would ask students who are on Unit 10 some questions from Unit 1, 2, which they should have mastered by that time, but they know nothing about that. They don't even know the vocabularies from that unit. So it's not good. Uh, because as a teacher, your job is not really to make your students have fun all the time. Like go to stand-up comedy for that. As a teacher, you're working on two things: their academics, their behavior, manners, ethics, their proper conduct, while keeping things alive, while keeping things fun. And again, not every day you have to keep your classes fun, right? Some days, of course, it could be like a boring day. It's a serious. Some days it could be fun. So as a teacher, you just have to get used to it. But the number one thing is work on yourself. As long as you work on yourself, you will see the effect from the people around you as well. And a lot can be said on this topic. A lot can be said on the topic because there are different groups. The same strategy will not work with teenagers, with adults, with kids. So, but this is an overall, this short amount of time, which I wanted to remind the teachers that, okay, if you would like some changes in the classroom, change yourself first. Take control of yourself first. Take control of your classroom. Start with the things that you're able to control before complaining about the things that you're not able to control. Once this part is good, then we can start focusing on the external factors and how to fix those. Thank you very much, guys, for your attention. I'm sorry for my internet connection. I hope you had a good time with that, and I guess there will be time for questions as well, right? I would love to take any questions as well. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you so much, Mr. Talat. It was a wonderful section from you. Okay, so I believe we can head on into the Q&A section. Please, guys, you can turn on your microphone or you can just type on the chat box. I believe we had still like 15 minutes or 10 minutes before we close our Zoom's meeting for the day. So please raise your hand or just type down on the chat box. I believe we have so many questions maybe in the chat box, when I 11. You can raise your hand if you have any question to Mr. Talat.
By the way, just to remind you guys, I have experience working with all ages. So if you have questions, kids or also with this,
Maybe I
please
can
answer
ask
all of
you
them.
a question, sir.
Yes,
Yeah, I
please.
can ask you a question. Uh, I mean, like, on your presentation, there is like, is it like a quote or not? Like, be a teacher, not
Entertainer.
an, was it entertainer? How you can explain about that? I believe that in this era, teachers, we need to be engaging. We need to, sometimes people like Gen Z, just like me, we want to make our class happier. And then
Yes.
if we don't do that, sometimes our students don't think that we are like their friends. Maybe we don't just like them. Maybe there's
Mhm.
like a barrier between our students and then as a teacher. How can you explain about that?
Very good. Thank you for that question. So, how did this phrase even come to my head? Uh, Once I had an experience teaching students, and of course, with my classroom, care, uh, I always care about the students' behavior, first and foremost. Like, I want them to be in their best possible way that human student can be. Now, I used to work in a company which they didn't like this method. They told me, hey, like the parents are paying money. We don't need to really like focus on their academics. We need to focus on getting more students, and we just need students to tell their parents we love this place. So this was my answer to them. Look, if you want an entertainer, get an entertainer, but I'm a teacher, and the teacher encompasses everything. So an entertainer, because it's easy for us to like go to the student. Let's watch a movie. If I watch movies in every classroom with my students, I'll be their favorite teacher. But are they learning? Are we doing our job as a teacher? No, we are not doing our job as a teacher, because the main goal of the teacher is for our students to develop academically and morally and morally and academically. If we are failing in those two things, then they're just happy with you, then you're an entertainer. You cannot call yourself a teacher. But a teacher, the entertainment part is automatically inside that definition of a teacher, because the teacher needs to keep the students engaged. But the entertainer doesn't encompass the word teacher inside it. Their job is just to make kids happy. That's all.
Thank you so much for your explanation. Okay. What about the others? Do you have any question for the Q&A section?
Margot,
Yeah, we have a question from.
about having
I believe we have a question from Miss Margot, like how about having commercial breaks with some jokes and laughter? What do you think about that?
this is perfect. This is where the personal, the human connection comes in. So you're teaching, you're on your serious mode, and then from time to time, for example, if you're a funny person, right? If you can make jokes, if you can make humor, this is you and this is your personality. So use that in your teaching. Of course, without forgetting that it's not the only thing you're doing. Your main goal is to teach academically, but the human connection that we talked about, this is where this comes. If you're a funny person, can make jokes, go ahead and show that to your students. Let your students have some type of role model, you know? Like, the best teachers that we usually remember are the teachers who were good in some. For example, one of my favorite teachers I remember, he was very good in football. Back in the days, I loved football. Another teacher, my favorite teacher, was the one who built games on computer. He was a programmer. I was amazed by that. So I remember them. But I don't remember the teachers that only taught from the book. That's why you mix your personality inside your teaching.
Yeah, absolutely right. Because we want to like up the mood in the classroom. Sometimes it's too monotonous for people.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you so much, sir. Do we have any question from other participants to Mr. Talat? Miss Fatmawati,
Yes.
yeah, please turn on your microphone.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Oh yeah, thank you for the presentation, sir. Well, actually, this is not a kind of question, but I just want to share something that I have actually in my classroom. As you explained in one of your slide about giving punishment and reward to your students, like giving like a 3 minus. I mean, if the student get 3 minus, and then you would not allow them to follow the class anymore. Well, if the thing actually what is it applied in my classroom, I don't think that it's gonna work well, because as you said that the students could have like a different kind of behavior characteristic. Well, actually, I'm teaching in Asia, in Indonesia. So I think I don't give my student a kind of punishment, but in a kind of, like I give them a reward, but no punishment at all. But the reward that I give in a kind of, like if they did good in the classroom, I would give them, okay, let's say if they have excellent, I mean, like when they do the test and then they have excellent, I'll give they 3 stars, very good 2 stars, and then one. And then if they get good, they will get 1 star. And if they don't, I mean, like perform well in the classroom, so I'm not gonna give them stars. So the kind of punishment that I give to my students is, it is not in the way of giving punishment itself. So yeah, it's just that I don't give them the start. Yeah, that's all. So I just want to share about something that I apply in my classroom, like giving the reward, not giving the punishment. Yeah, that's all.
That's
Thank you so
a
much,
great,
Miss.
yes, that's a great insight. I currently I'm also teaching in Indonesia, so and from my experience, most Indonesian teachers they don't have a punishment system for their kids, and for me, this is what I believe. Human beings they are wired. But if you look across everywhere, whether it's religion, whether it's you work in a company, whether it's you're doing something, there's always the punishment side and the reward side. You don't do your work correctly, you will be fired. You don't do this, you're not gonna get bonus, blah blah, this and that. And across everything, we have similar like psychological use. With kids, it depends on the environment you teach. If you teach in a traditional school, then kicking them out of the school or of the classroom is not the best idea because they need to follow the curriculum. They need to, otherwise, you're gonna find another kind of work with them. It's not a good idea. If you're teaching in an English center, then this could work because, and kicking them out is not like, okay, get out, that's it, you're not gonna come to my class. No, it's more like go outside for 1, 2 minutes, talk to them outside, tell them not to repeat this or something, and then bring them back. So it depends on, but but in my opinion, there has to be some type of like a form of punishment which the kid knows and understands that this is what will happen. Because if in their mind it's like okay, only the good thing, and if I don't answer, then it's okay, nothing will happen to me, and I'm not gonna get star as well. So it wouldn't like work as the strongest type of motivation for the kids, from my experience. So it could work for every teacher, could work differently. Someone said,
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Fatmawati, for sharing your experience as a teacher, and then Mr. Talat for your response. Thank you so much. And maybe we have one last question before we close this Zoom's meeting, this webinar. If you have any question, please drop on the chat box or you can simply raise your hand. We have also a comment from Miss Joy. She said that I think teachers play an important role in establishing and maintaining healthy environments for students to learn and grow. We should show empathy and show sensitivity to students. Don't compare each individual in the classroom. Yeah, we also believe in that
yes.
as well. Do you have any comments, sir,
But
to that statement?
this is this why in one of the slides I always said like uh, let's say if you do have some type of punishment or you show serious face, it should always be followed with something positive right away. So the vibe of the classroom is not that like if you told a kid like hey, this is not a good behavior, let's try to be like this, you quickly have to cover that with something fun, with more question, engage that student again in the classroom until they feel like, okay, all is good, everything is good. This always works. By the way, regarding the punishment, the minus plus system, in my classroom, no one has ever reached 3 minuses. So, because of the fact that I always give them the opportunity to change their minus into plus. That's the important message here. Is like, I want them to know that from their mistakes they can learn and they can change that negative into a positive experience, and this motivates them further.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Talat Nasruddin. Okay, I believe that's the end of our Zoom's meeting. Thank you so much for attending our insightful webinar with Mr. Talat Nasruddin as our guest speaker. And I believe that education will grow in the future, like implementing AI, technology, and so on. But before we close our Zoom's meeting, I believe that we should take a picture first, right,
And
Yes.
also
Mr.
the
Fajruddin?
awarding first.
Oh yeah, we want to award you something, Mr. Talat. Maybe Mr.
Oh,
Fajruddin can show the certificate, isn't it?
Okay, thank you very much, our amazing moderator today, Teacher Dwiki, and also, of course, for the insightful presentation, reassuring, I believe, for most of us as a teacher. Okay, so Mr. Tanat Nasruddin, we are very grateful for you to be presenting with us today. So kindly accept this small token
uh,
of gratitude to you. So this
thank
certificate
you
of
very much.
recognition is awarded to Talat J. Nasruddin as our speaker on the topic of bridging manners and materials in today's classroom in the IELTA Indonesia webinar today, 16 November 2025, Jakarta time. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you
And
very
of
much.
course,
I didn't expect this. Amazing surprise. Thank
yeah,
you.
this is our culture in IELTA. Thank you very much.
Nice.
And of course, to our amazing moderator today, thank you very much for neatly moderating our session despite some technical glitches. Well, it happens when it's online. Okay, Teacher Dwiki Rahman Khan as our webinar moderator on the topic of bridging manners and material in today's classroom. Again, in our IELTA Indonesia webinar on 16 November 2025, Jakarta time. Once again, thank you very much and looking forward to more of your contribution in our community, Teacher Dwiki. And go on, Teacher Dwiki, you would like to say thing or two?
Okay. Is it my turn?
Okay, one last to our participants. Okay. Thank you very much, dear teachers, for joining us very early in the afternoon, in the evening, okay, during your weekend, right? So I hope that you are also enjoying your weekend while also joining our session. We are putting the attendance form in the Zoom chat, so kindly fill in the form accordingly. Make sure that you put your full name or the name that you want to have in your certificate, and you will get your certificate straight to your email after completing the attendance form. And remember to follow us on Facebook, okay, IELTA Indonesia and also IELTA International for future learning and collaboration opportunities. So once again, big thanks and return to the moderator.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fajaruddin. Before we close our Zoom's meeting, maybe we can take a picture first, Mister. So please, all participants, you can turn on your camera and we can take a picture and, share it online. Okay, please, teachers, if you can join with us, turning your camera. Okay,
By
okay,
the way,
okay.
you guys can add me on LinkedIn if
Oh,
this
yeah,
this topic is area of interest. We can discuss this way deeply. 30 minutes doesn't do justice, so you can always add me and we can talk more about it.
absolutely. So we can follow Mr. Talat online on his LinkedIn. I will be the one, sir. I'll be the one to follow you first, okay? So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we can take a picture first. Okay, smile. One, two, three. Okay, wait for a moment. Okay, one more. Okay, one, two, three. Okay, that's the end of our webinar for today. Thank you so much for coming in. And don't forget, guys, to fill out the form for getting your certificate. And then you can follow Mr. Talat LinkedIn and then Mr. Fajaruddin's Akbar LinkedIn. Okay, I believe. Yeah, thank you so much for coming today. That's the end. And maybe this webinar will be uploaded online on YouTube, I believe. Is it Mr. Fajaruddin?
Yes, our recording will be available on YouTube along with the other IELTA Indonesia webinar recording playlist. So kindly follow us on Facebook, where we will share a summary of this session and also the link to our recording.